Welcome back to the Sustainable Aviation Futures Interview Insights here in Houston. Currently joined with Matthew Bennison, the business developer at Johnson Matthey. Welcome, Matthew.
Thanks for having me.
So, tell us a little bit more about your role and the work at Johnson Matthey.
Yeah, so like I say, Matthew Bennison, I'm a business developer at Johnson Matthey. My background's in chemical engineering, so I've had a few years working in operations on a chemical manufacturing plant. Then moved over into technology licensing and the process engineering design for that. And since joining the business development team at JM, I've been looking at developing any business growth opportunities that we have in our catalyst technologies business, looking at sustainable technologies.
So can you tell us a little bit more about who Johnson Matthey are? What are your technologies and what's your interest in the SAF space?
Yeah, so JM is a global leader in sustainable technologies. So our current focus as a business is to catalyse net zero transition. So in order to do that, we need to help our customers to meet their decarbonisation needs. In the SAF space, we've got several technologies in our portfolio that can contribute to the production of SAF that we can license out to our clients. The first one of those is to mention is our FT cans technology, or Fischer-Tropsch, which we co-developed with BP. It's an ASTM certified process, so it can go into blends of jet fuel already. And what it does is it takes synthesis gas, which is a mixture of hydrogen and carbon monoxide, and essentially processes that to make a synthetic crude oil, which can then be upgraded into SAF for using the airlines. So there's a couple of different ways we can get to that syngas that feeds into FT cans. First one is by gasification. So we can use biomass or municipal solid waste to feed into a gasifier to then give us a syngas. Or we can use JM's hydrogen reverse water gas shift technology, which can take green hydrogen and capture CO2, run that through the hydrogen technology, and it will make a syngas, which can then be fed into the FT cans. The other one to mention is our bioforming technology, which we co-developed with Virent. So that's a sugars to aromatics route. So that allows us to make what we call synthetic aromatic kerosene. Conventional jet fuel has about 15% aromatic content, and the FT process and the HEFA process to make SAF only makes paraffinic hydrocarbons. So in order to make sure we can have a fully 100% drop in fuel, we need to have a way of making these sustainable aromatic components as well. So our bioforming technology allows us to do that. We can take first generation sugars, or we can take cellulosic biomass, deconstruct it to make those sugars. So there's a few different options to get to that. And that's been demonstrated by the first 100% SAF transatlantic flight from a commercial airline, which was demonstrated by Virgin Atlantic. I suppose the last one to mention as well is we also have sustainable methanol technologies, which can be used as a feedstock for methanol to jet pathway as well.
Amazing. You mentioned some of your collaborations there and your product portfolio. What's your interest in the North American market here?
Yeah, I mean, North America's obviously got some of the biggest airports and the biggest airlines in the world. So there's a massive market there, and we see a genuine desire to decarbonise. And the bigger the market, the bigger the impact that we can have. Also, there's plentiful biomass or feedstock for these processes in North America. There's a lot of land mass, a lot of available feeds. One of the key things that we find with these technologies is that if you don't have the feedstock, you're going to really struggle to make the SAF. So having that feedstock local and available, easy to get to the site of the project is really important. The final point I want to mention is that the USA is leading the way in terms of policy and incentives. So they've got more concrete tax incentives than a lot of other places in the world. It gives us more confidence in the viability of the project. So yeah, it's looking really good for North America at the moment.
Amazing. And we've loved hearing your perspective across our global events. What are some of your key takeaways from our North America event?
Yeah, I think it's been a really interesting event. What I've liked about it is that it's an educated audience. So it's not just been scratching at the surface in the simple topics, it's been deep diving into some of the real issues that we're seeing in SAF. And one of the key takeaways, I guess, that I got was, I've mentioned that the USA is leading in policy, but a lot of the attitude that we're hearing here is that there's still a lot more work needs to be done from the policy to make them more long-lasting and give the people who are investing in these projects more confidence that they're going to go ahead and be really viable. So that was a big takeaway for me, that we've come a long way, but there's still a lot of way to go.
Absolutely, and yeah, I think that's the statement of all of the industry. Well, Matthew, thanks so much for telling us about Johnson Matthey.
Yep, been a pleasure.
Cheers.
Thank you.